Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mika, and here on this channel I do all things fragrances. I love fragrances. I love doing reviews on fragrances and just telling you my opinion. I promised you a video on Loewe fragrances, and in particular I was mentioning the Un Paseo por Madrid collection. This is like their Privé line, their higher quality collection. I do have two that are not from the Un Paseo Un Madrid collection that I will be reviewing in today's video. So if this is the type of content that you like, then stay tuned. Loewe fragrances first hit the market in 2012. I first learned about Loewe in the YouTube fragrance community, and I believe it's Pika, and I'll put her channel in the description box, but she was the one who first turned me on to Loewe. I did not know anything about Loewe fragrances. I knew about their handbags, and then I later learned about the fragrances. Guys, I do want to ask you to please forgive me. Many of these are Spanish, and my Spanish is not all that great. I'm going to do my best to pronounce them, but just in case, I'm going to also link the names of the fragrances in the description and on the screen. Please forgive me if I mispronounce any of the fragrances. That is not my intent to intentionally butcher the pronunciations. The other thing I do want to ask is that please know that I only have the fragrances that I love. There are more in the collection. I specifically do not have any that have agarwood, which is oud, or that has leather. Those are two notes that I'm very sensitive to, and they have to be done a certain kind of way. And this collection is very expensive, and most of the ways to experience their collection, if there's not a store near you or if you're not traveling to Spain, is to blind buy. And I did not want to take the chance of blind buying the fragrances that have leather, even though the other notes I thought I would do really well with. So I don't have any of those in my collection. There are two that have leather in it that I think I would like, but I just want to find it at a good price or be able to put my nose on it first before I, take the plunge. So again, please forgive me for the pronunciation, as well as these are fragrances that are in my collection that omit the notes of leather and oud. I do know that many of these are very pricey. If you do a really good search, some of these are discontinued, and you may be able to find them on sites like FragranceNet, where they are under 100 or even under 200. So I do think that it's worth the search. Not all of them are pricey, and you may be able to get a good deal on them if you are interested. So without further ado, we are going to jump into the review on my top and favorite Loewe fragrances. I do want to mention that I have them in order of my least favorite to my top favorite. So it's all of them are loves. I do have a special place in my heart for the top one, so I am going in that order. The first one here is Amance Laella Cibeles by Loewe. And this one here has a little pink tassel. This is very feminine to me in the opening. It's a unisex floral, and I'll read the notes to you. It has vanilla, rose, iris, and other floral notes. Very long lasting. I get about 12 plus hours with this fragrance. I do agree that it is a better and more refined version of La Vie est Belle by Lancôme, and unfortunately I do not care for that fragrance. And so when I smell this, the only thing that comes to my mind is La Vie est Belle, and it's nothing about that fragrance. It's just not my cup of tea. I find it to be very sweet, too sweet for me, and just very loud. And it's kind of like flower bomb to me. For some people, Flower Bomb is a love, whereas for me, it is too much. And that's what I get from La Via's Belle. But this is a more refined version of it. You can tell that the ingredients in here is more quality, top-notch quality. It leans feminine from the start. It's very rosy. Then you get this beautiful dry down, which is a musky sweet. And if I could be in that space for the whole longevity and wear of this fragrance, then this would be like in my top 3. But I have to wait several hours to get to that point with this fragrance, and for that reason, that's why it is not a love for me. It's more of a like. Like I said, if it was in that sweet musky phase from opening to the dry down, oh my gosh, it would just be my fave. I would not wear this in the heat. I think this do well in the cooler weather. But that's just my preference. You may be able to wear this all year long, just like La Via's Belle. A lot of people wear that all year round. I think that this would shine in the cooler weather and it wouldn't be too obnoxious. There are many other better offerings from this collection, and so that is why this is at the bottom of my list. So this is Amance Laella Cibeles by Loewe. This next one is from their regular collection, and I like these, but it's not the same quality as the Un Paseo por Madrid collection. If it had the same type of quality, I think that these would be higher up on the list, but for that reason, I have it lower. And it's just a big difference. Like with the other collection, you can spray this and you see the oils on your skin. Whereas with the signature collection, you don't see as much of the oil on your skin. And it doesn't wear the same to me. That's my personal opinion. This is Aura Loewe Pink Magnolia by Loewe. This is a floral, fruity, musky fragrance. The notes are red fruit, magnolia, musk, and sandalwood. And for me, the magnolia flower is front and center. I smell the magnolia flower the most. This is more feminine in the opening, but then it becomes unisex in the dry down. It's great for spring and fall. It's not as long lasting as the luxury collection. I get about 6 hours with this. And I think the bottle is really pretty. It looks like brush strokes with the gold. It gives me a very happy feeling. It's very uplifting in the opening. The fruitiness dissipates in the dry down, and it becomes a sweet sandalwood with a touch of musk in the dry down. The sillage is moderate. Like I said, I get about 5 to 6 hours. It's not attention grabbing, but it is very likable. This is something that I think that you can wear on one of those, you know, days that you just don't want to fuss with your fragrance. It's an easy reach, and I like it for that reason. But for me, it is the dry down. I am a big fan of sandalwood. I also like magnolia, the flower. I like the note of magnolia flower. And that sandalwood in here with the light touch of musk is what sold me on this fragrance. And for that reason, that's why I really love it. If it was something that lasts longer on my skin and I saw the quality and the uniqueness, it would be in the top 3. But because it's not that unique and I don't see the same quality as the luxury collection, that's why it's lower on the list. So again, this is Aura Loewe Pink Magnolia by Loewe. This next one, I have a small sample of it. I wanted to try it. I actually saw this online for purchase, and so I snagged up a sample versus buying a whole bottle of it. But this was also one of Pika's favorites, and this is El Cielo sobre la Plaza de Oriente by Loewe. And this is a unisex amber floral. It leans a little bit more masculine to me, And the top notes are tangerine, neroli, ginger, orange blossom, jasmine, ylang ylang, amber, olibanum, and cacao. This is so underrated and amazing in my opinion. It's a well blended spicy orange blossom. I noticed something about this line is this house is that they really love orange blossom. Orange blossom is in pretty much all of their fragrances, especially the ones that I have. But this one here is just a spicy orange blossom. So if you like spice and you like that sweetness from the orange blossom, I think you will really like this. I think that it's also deep and sultry. You have to spray it on skin because spraying it on paper you do get a different takeaway and feel. I love the vibrant ambery florals with the hint of cacao. You can smell the cacao in the background, but it's not too chocolatey. I mean, you don't get a, smell like you're eating chocolate, but you can get it. It's like a dusty cacao. And I think it's great for all temps, but most of all, this would be really great in the cooler weather, especially like fall and spring. And I do think that you can wear this in the winter depending on how cold your winters are. If it's, way cold, then this might get lost. If you're in one of those states where it doesn't get too cold, like here in Georgia, I think you can pull this off for fall, winter, and spring. And the olibanum is just what grounds this fragrance to me. It's not too spicy, not too sweet, and then the olibanum just gives it that depthness. At first I thought it reminded me of Obsession, but after I was able to spray and do the contrast, it doesn't smell like Obsession to me, but it gives me remnants of Obsession. And so I really like this. I think this is a sweater weather fragrance, and it's unisex, but I think it's more masculine leaning. This is El Cielo sobre la Plaza de Oriente. This next one, I was torn between getting the toilette or getting the parfum, and I finally landed on the toilette. Solo Loewe Ella by Loewe, and this is one of their signature fragrances, and it's just a creamy, floral, fruity gourmand. And what drew me in was, I'm a sucker for cotton candy. Anytime I see cotton candy in a fragrance, I am just like in the cart. It's sold. It has pitaya, passion fruit, pink peony, cotton candy, vanilla, amber, praline, and sandalwood. It's a beautiful tropical summery scent, and if I could set the scene for you, this is a beach holiday in a bottle. This is a beach holiday in a bottle, and this is what you wear when you are on a beach, you're sunbathing, you have on your swimsuit with a cover up, you're laying on the sand, or you're going to dinner at a nice resort in a tropical island. This is the vibe that this gives me. I feel pretty wearing this, but I know peach is not in here, but it feels like I smell peach. Maybe it's just the passion fruit. I'm also a sucker for passion fruit. But you can wear this day, night. It's a great alternative to citrusy fragrances. This is going to be your beachy gourmand. And I do think this is too sexy for the office. This is really for beach holiday. I like it for it to be a toilette. I actually get about 5 hours with this, and even after the 5 hours I can still smell it on my skin. I think that the sun warms this up and makes it last even longer. I will carry this on holiday this summer. So again, this is Loewe Ella. So the last four are from the Un Paseo por Madrid collection, and so the next one is, and I did talk about this in my spring video, and I'll link it in the description below, but this is Ópera in el Teatro Real by Loewe, and this one has the purple ribbon, and it's in the classic collection bottle. This right here I love. I really love. it was tied. I really actually would have made this in my top 3, but I think that it's tied in the 3 with another fragrance. I just love this, and I think that it is very unisex. Men and women can wear this. The notes are jasmine, benzoin, bergamot, and spicy notes. It is so nicely blended. Out of all of these, I think this one has the most oils, or to me on my skin when I spray it, it has the most oil. But it makes me feel so beautiful when I'm wearing this. It portrays elegance, high quality. When I sprayed this, again, if you watch my video, I literally rolled my eyes in the back of my head. I was like, wow, this smells so good. And it's just the musk in here, that musk accord that sold me. I love musk, and the musk in here is gorgeous. Now, it's not the musk that you normally smell, like for example in the Narciso Rodriguez musk. This is a gorgeous white musk that just lays on the top of your skin. Not animalic, but just beautiful. And the magic is in the dry down. It has the right blend of florals and muskiness. This is just gorgeous. Again, if this was something that I felt that was all occasions, I would have put this higher up, and I still think that it's tied. But this one is gorgeous, and I think you can find this for like $98 on you know, the discount sites. But this is Ópera en el Teatro Real by Loewe. The next one is my third, and like I said, I really do think that the last one could have tied for third with this one. And this is L8 Grand Via by Loewe, and it is also in the collection, the collection bottle. This is a floral, woody, musky fragrance. It's unisex. It's one of those fragrances where people compliment me on how fresh I smell. A lot of people will say, oh, you smell very fresh. If you are a big fan of citruses for the summer, I want to challenge you to try something like this instead. This right here, it is just that vetiver in there, and I'm a big fan of vetiver, and a lot of people think vetiver, you know, leans more masculine, but I do think that women can pull off vetiver. This here has vetiver, floral notes, rose, and pepper, and that combination of vetiver and florals is just right. It is so unisex, but I think that the way your skin makes it pull can bring out a little sweetness. Not too much sweetness from the florals, but I do think that based on your chemistry, you can either pull a little of the sweetness from the florals, or you can pull that freshness and greenness from the vetiver. It could go either way. I've smelled this on, and his chemistry pulled out the vetiver, whereas on me, I feel like it's a balance of the earthiness as well as the florals, not too florally. And it lasts about 10 plus hours, but later in the dry down, you get this beautiful soft scent bubble of just freshness. You feel fresh all day long, even though it could be humid, it could be hot and sticky. This makes me feel like I just got out of the shower regardless of what time of the day. And I have not smelled this type of fragrance from any other fragrance. This is so unique to me. It's one of those fragrances where you're not going to smell like everybody else. But I like this, and I put it as number 3 because no matter where I am, I'm always getting compliments about how fresh I smell. No matter what time of the day, people are always saying, oh, you smell so fresh. And that's the compliment that I get when I'm wearing this. So this is L8 Grand Via by Loewe. And we are at number 2. This is Tertulia in la Plaza Mayor by Loewe. And this one has a bright orange ribbon, and it's in the classic collection bottle. This has orange blossom, sandalwood, honey, black pepper, and rose water. It's not a loud rose. It's, like I said, rose water, so it's real light on the rose. This is long lasting. I get 10 plus hours with this. It has an enormous sillage and longevity. It is unisex. In the opening, it smells more feminine, but then in the dry down, I get it envelops into a unisex fragrance. I get the white florals and I get the honey. You have to like the honey. I think the honey is what really gives it that base. The honey in here is big. It is big in this fragrance, but not obnoxious. It's just prominent. It's my second love. This is just a beautiful, warm, spicy fragrance that can be worn in any season. I love this for that reason. I can wear it day, night, winter, spring, summer, fall, casual, dressed up. It is just one of those fragrances that can be a signature fragrance. I love this. Again, this is Tertulia in la Plaza Mayor by Loewe. I don't know if you watch my channels, but because this one is saved for last, you'll probably know which one is my number 1. And we are now at my number 1. And the name of this fragrance is the birthplace of Loewe fragrances. And this is Mayrit. And it's also in the collection bottle. It has the paper on the front, unlike the others where it's on the glass. The name is on the glass. This has the paper, and this is just beautiful. You have to be an orange blossom lover. It's an amber floral for men and women. The top notes are passion fruit, orange blossom, grapefruit, cardamom, jasmine, tuberose, rose, vanilla, amber, and sandalwood. I am a sucker for orange blossom. I'm a sucker for passion fruit as well as sandalwood. And when I read all of those notes, don't let the note of grapefruit scare you. It is not that prominent in this fragrance. But when I read all of those notes, I was sold. I blind bought pretty much all of these fragrances, but this was my very first fragrance from the Loewe house, and I was sold. I was sold. I did not have to research any further. I was going down that rabbit hole, and I don't have any regrets. I love every single one of my purchases. They were scary because this house is very, very, very expensive. I bought these before they have been heavily discounted. Now you can find them for like $98, $99, but when I bought them, they were almost regular price, regular retail price. But this is my number 1 Loewe fragrance. I love wearing this for spring and summer. It has the highest quality of ingredients, and I love it for the fruity, floral woodiness. It's like a balancing act. This is one where I can see the oils. Like when I spray it on my body, you would swear that I've oiled up before I sprayed it. And it just has the right balance of the fruitiness, the floralness, the woodiness. My favorite is the passion fruit. I can smell the passion fruit and the orange blossom throughout the wear. And then in the dry down, you get this beautiful creamy sandalwood. You do have to like the white florals. But that fruity blast in the opening, you will be sold. You will be sold. Longevity is good. Projection is great. I get noticed when I'm wearing this. I get a lot of compliments. And it's more so like what are you wearing? Before they just come out and say, oh, you smell so good. First, it's what are you wearing? And then they will then follow it up by, you know, saying that, oh, you smell so sweet, or you smell, and it's not that sweet, but someone will say, you smell so sweet. That's what I hear the most. This is gorgeous. And I think that with these, I think that with any of these that I've shown you here, you just can't go wrong. And many of them you can find like on FragranceNet. It's worth trying. I think that if you have $100, it's worth it, because I am not near a Loewe store, and I'm in Atlanta, so I could probably go to Phipps Plaza, but honestly, I really get overwhelmed when I'm smelling fragrances in the store, and I'm one of those people who will just take the chance and blind buy it. That's just my personal opinion. I think that some experiences are different. Some people let you experience the fragrance on your own, but others will, you know, continue to, you know, pester you. I don't want to be negative, but I just like experiencing fragrances on my own. Unless I ask, you know, I'll say, hey, what do you recommend, or what do you suggest? But if I'm in one of those moods where I just want to sniff and smell on my own, I really don't want to be bothered. And I know that they are just doing their jobs, but I would rather take the chance and just blind buy than deal with that. And then the other experience that I get is I get overwhelmed with all of the fragrances just coming at me at once. And then by the end of the day, I've either overspent or I just don't know what I'm smelling anymore, if that makes any sense. But right now I'm just blabbering. So I just want to say thank you for, thank you for requesting this video. I had a blast creating it, and I know I've been promising you guys a dedicated Loewe fragrance review, and I'm finally getting around to doing it. So thank you so much for that request. And if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button and hit the thumbs up. Let me know if you have any Loewe fragrances and what are your thoughts about them. What was your first one? Do you have multiple? Tell me, what is your favorite Loewe fragrance? If you have a Loewe fragrance that I have not mentioned that you think I should get my nose on, please put that in the comments below. All right, guys. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.